What's up, everybody? I am Brandon, and we got a buttload of Nintendo news to talk about today. Sounds like Nintendo is officially shutting down the eShop for the Wii U and the 3DS, and people are pissed about it. Not only is it a preservation issue, but it also brings up a litany of other problems. Anyway, we got all that and more on another episode of Game Corner. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what I do, please like the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll stop wasting your time. So like I said, Nintendo is officially going to be closing down the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS eShops as of March 2023. That gives us about a year from now to, grab whatever we need off the store before it's gone forever. When this happens, that means you won't be able to download any new games off the eShop. You won't be able to download free content like demos or apps. Unless you already have games that you've bought in the past on these platforms, there's literally nothing you can do to get these games again. They're going to be totally gone and not up for sale anymore. This gets even worse with some of the restrictions around how you can add money to your account to buy these games if you wanted to do that before the shop closed down. Basically, as of May 23rd of this year, you're not going to be able to add a credit card to your account anymore, which means the only way to add funds to your account would be through a eShop gift card or by connecting your Nintendo ID to your Nintendo account and then putting money on it that way. But also keep in mind that gift cards are going to be going out of sale completely as of August 29th of 2023. That means after August 29th of this year, the only way you're going to be able to make eShop purchases is by connecting your Nintendo ID to your Nintendo account and adding funds to your wallet that way. Which, unless you've done in the past, is a total pain in the ass. I had my Nintendo ID scattered across multiple devices and ended up having to call the customer support and get it all figured out to actually get mine working. So I don't envy anyone who has to buy these games after August 29th by connecting their Nintendo ID to their Nintendo account. Luckily, you will be able to download any content you have already purchased off the store, at least for the time being. They didn't really give us a timeline on this, and I doubt they're going to. At some point, it's just gonna be gone. They did this with the Wii a few years ago, and I know there were a lot of people that were really bummed out about that. So if you'd like to pick up any of these games before the eShop closes down, I definitely recommend getting on that as soon as physically possible. Especially games like Wind Waker HD and Xenoblade Chronicles X are going to shoot through the roof price-wise after this all shuts down. I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing Wii U's and Nintendo 3DS's skyrocketing in price on eBay already. The fact is, a lot of these games and virtual console ROMs that Nintendo has up on the store, you literally can't find anywhere else. And if you can find them, the physical copies are insanely expensive on top of already having to own the hardware, which is only going to get more expensive. The Q&A portion of this whole article is absolutely magnificent too. It totally sounds like Nintendo is having a bad breakup conversation with their customers. Nintendo, why is this happening? This is part of the natural life cycle for any product line as it becomes less used by consumers over time. Nintendo, why are you announcing this now? We're providing this notice more than a year in advance of the end of purchases, so users will have plenty of time to prepare. But are any other services or functions of Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS family of systems going to be discontinued, such as online play? There are no plans to make any further changes at this time. No, Nintendo! Don't leave! Jokes aside, Nintendo has a serious preservation issue here. Like I mentioned earlier, there are games you quite literally cannot play anywhere else other than a 3DS or a Wii U. Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time HD, Wind Waker HD, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I mean really that just scratches the surface of games that you literally can't play anywhere else other than these consoles. And obviously you can go out and buy a physical copy, but those games are already very expensive, and because of this, they're only going to get more expensive. In fact, pretty soon we're about to have a third-party Nintendo seller problem because everyone's going to be hiking the price up for these games and consoles like crazy. Obviously, this just goes to bolster the value of Nintendo products even more, which is exactly what they want. I mean, hell, they just put a man in jail for 40 months to make some sort of statement because he was making Switch hacks. It's just kind of ironic that in the same breath they happen to take something away that, their customers really liked, and also that matters a lot to gaming history in general. I mean, to be fair, he was selling and profiting off of hacked Switch hardware, so a little bit of a gray area possibly. But still, should a guy be put in jail for 3 years because of video games? No. And like I said, this was totally just to make an example. They just want people to realize that they will do something about it if you're gonna fuck with their IPs. Their lawyers even went on to make this statement, citing indie devs. When video games are illegally copied and when circumvention devices become readily available, the video game industry and the broader economy experience a negative ripple effect. This leads, at a minimum, to fewer incentives to create in a less vibrant game scene. Yeah, totally. Providing less ways to access content, especially beloved content that you can't access anywhere else, is totally hurting the market. That's really pinching Nintendo's pockets when you're not paying them $60 for a fucking copy of Xenoblade Chronicles. And all those young devs who could be, you know, maybe being inspired by these fantastic video games are not ever gonna get a chance to play them unless they fucking pirate them. Ugh, it's just frustrating. It's just so frustrating. They're a company that prides themselves on being very consumer friendly and like pro gamer, and then they make moves like this and you are very quickly reminded that holy shit, that is a corporation and they want nothing more than to make my money. I don't know, the situation is insanely nuanced. I think there's a lot of moving parts here, and while it does really suck, they are totally within their rights to make this happen. So in my opinion, if we want to keep these games around, we need to let Nintendo know that we want these things. I know there's a lot of people who are really big diehard Wii U fans out there, but the majority of people didn't really get into that console, and we can see that with the numbers. The more baffling thing is the 3DS though, which is one of the most sold consoles of all time. Like I said, this is a really nuanced situation and I don't know everything, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I did think this was a pretty important topic to talk about, and as someone who especially is really interested in game preservation and game history, I thought that it was important that more of us speak up about this. Anyway, I don't know, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion down below. This is a really ridiculous situation, especially with just more and more things coming out and kind of stacking on top of each other. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. This video has already gone on a very long time. This was the Game Corner episode on the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U preservation disaster. I'm Brandon. Thanks for watching and have a kick-ass week.